Like all rumors in general, but especially ones for Final Fantasy VII Remake, take this with a grain of salt. Rumors are reported for the fun of seeing which ones play out and which ones don't, making it all the more fun when looking back to see which leaks were legitimate. However, this one in particular may have some ground to it. Not too long ago, Sony introduced the State of Play, which is essentially Sony's version of a Nintendo Direct, a live stream that tells gamers all the latest news regarding the platform, and a whole host of game reveals and trailers. Sony's previous and first State of Play wasn't received too well. It didn't actually feature many major announcements or trailers that anyone had honestly cared to see. However, according to a new rumor, you can expect to see something a bit different from this upcoming State of Play. A user who goes by ZoogX, a game industry analyst, posted the other day regarding this upcoming State of Play saying, quote, "Last time I said don't expect much. Well, this one will be better than the last one for sure. We'll see updates to Sony games, a new title, and also the re-reveal of a third-party game that was announced long ago." He then ends this with a picture of Square Enix executive producer Shinji Hashimoto doing his iconic and hearty laugh. So is now the time to please be excited? He seems to be hinting that he's aware of a Final Fantasy VII Remake reveal, but that's not all. To make matters even more interesting, Shinji Hashimoto has retweeted the State of Play stream date and time twice. Once from the official Japanese PlayStation Twitter, and another time from the Japanese gaming publication Famitsu. At the very least, if it's not Final Fantasy VII Remake, then it might be something at least noteworthy for us fans of Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. As usually, executive producer Shinji Hashimoto is the one associated with those franchises. Typically, whenever Shinji Hashimoto retweets an event, it's because Square Enix will have some sort of presence during the event. Perhaps this could be a look at Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, which is an upcoming DLC for the game. But combine that with ZoogX's comments about the re-reveal of a third-party game that was announced long ago, and pairing it with Shinji Hashimoto's face, and then having him retweet the State of Play twice, it would seem there is indeed something planned for Square Enix with the State of Play. The way I see it, Square Enix is likely to reveal one of two games, the Avengers Project or Final Fantasy VII Remake. Square Enix CEO Yosuke Matsuda showed an explosive amount of operating income by the end of our calendar year in a financial briefing with investors. Naturally, when investors asked Square Enix why they expected some fairly record-breaking numbers during that time, Matsuda replied that the details would be revealed in the lead-up to E3. The State of Play happening in just a few days would indeed qualify as the lead-up to E3, and the only two titles that could possibly generate the figures that they were expecting are either the Avengers Project or Final Fantasy VII Remake Volume 1. The Avengers Project coinciding with the release of the Avengers Endgame this year would be a perfect matchup. I imagine they would want to release the game close to the movie, but an often unconsidered possibility is that it could also very easily be both. While Square Enix gives a lot of space between their Japanese properties, for example, they didn't even want to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake until Kingdom Hearts 3 was finished. Conversely, they don't seem to care to space apart their Western IPs from their Japanese ones in terms of release. For example, the Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal developed Shadow of the Tomb Raider was slated to release by Square Enix on September 14th, 2018, 10 days apart from the Western release of Dragon Quest XI on September 4th. Two massive titles a week and 3 days apart. This is most likely because they consider the audiences for their Western properties and their Japanese properties to be different demographics. And if they launch both this year, Square Enix is definitely going to be rolling in cash. And because they're being developed by entirely different studios, it's totally possible for them to both finish simultaneously. Though specifically because Shinji Hashimoto is involved, it does seem to be Final Fantasy VII Remake. Usually he doesn't do much handling for any of Square's Western IPs like Tomb Raider. He's also the brand manager for the Final Fantasy series. He also plays an active role in the Kingdom Hearts series as the head of Business Division 3, and is also cited as the co-creator of the series. So at the very least, with him promoting people watch the event, it seems that we may see something at the very least related to those franchises. But yeah, we pretty much all hope that it's Final Fantasy VII Remake. While we could very well be on the verge of a Final Fantasy VII Remake reveal in just a few days, keep in mind we've been disappointed before. We keep our fingers crossed and hope that we can return to Gaia very soon. With the advent of the Final Fantasy VII exclusive concert happening soon, my gut tells me that we can certainly expect to see something in the near future. So Ultima Weapons, I want want to know, do you think that this is going to be a Final Fantasy VII Remake re-reveal? Do you think I'm just torturing myself endlessly waiting on this game? Or do you think this is just another attempt at pulling our chain, which at this point I certainly can't fault you for thinking? Subscribe, click the bell icon, and let me know in the comments below. And if you've been enjoying my content, consider checking out the Patreon for the Night Sky Prince, like my awesome supporter, Jeremy R. He is one of the incredible people who are help keeping this channel growing and alive. A massive thank you, Jeremy. Shout out to him and the rest of the Ultima community.